What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I got some big breaking news. Today has been one hell of a day, y'all. It's just been some crazy news rolling in about all kinds of things, but this one tops the charts, y'all. Check this out. Breaking update. Pam Bondi says Epstein files release hindered by New York FBI office that concealed thousands of documents. So basically what this kind of points to, if you will, and nobody's really saying this, but from what it sounds like to me, is that this agency, this sect, I guess you could call it, of the FBI in New York, is a rogue agency at this point, because they were supposed to hand over all the documents for the Epstein that were to be released, the Epstein files and all that, the client list, and it was just a trove of documents and all kinds of stuff that Epstein was involved in, and we want to know that stuff that was set to be released. Donald Trump said declassify it, release all that information, so they've been working on it. And we've been wondering, like, what in the hell's taking so long? This was supposed to come out, like, Trump gave that order, I forget how long ago that was. It was a couple of weeks ago. So we was wondering what the hell was going on, and Pam Bondi wrote a scathing letter to Kash Patel, by the way. It's crazy, y'all, but we'll get into that. Let's get into this right quick. Check it out, y'all. Trump Attorney General Pam Bondi released Phase 1 of the Epstein files on Thursday, and an advance look at those files from the New York Post reveals that the document spans over 100 pages and includes a list of contacts. Now, I will say right off the jump, this isn't left-wing news. This isn't, I wouldn't call the post-millennial right-wing news, but they're not left-wing news, so just putting that out there right quick. I know I always tell you guys, you know, if I'm reading right-wing news or something like that, but I guess some people do consider them on the right. I don't. They're kind of more centrist, if you will. But, you know, I figured I'd just push that out there and get that out of the way. But let's keep going. The release is part of a promise made by President Donald Trump while on the campaign trail. Bondi later revealed that the tranche of documents she received from the FBI, spanning some 200 pages, was not nearly the full archive, and demanded that the FBI release it immediately. Bondi said in a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel that she learned on Wednesday that the documents she wanted had not been delivered by the New York office of the FBI, despite their having told her that she had the complete file. So that's basically what they told her. Look, you got all the documents. And she's like, are you sure this is it? It was 200 pages. And, you know, with someone like Epstein, like Jeffrey Epstein, and everything that was going on, right, it's like, okay, this can't be it. This guy was running operations, and I'm not even going to say what those operations were, because I really don't want to repeat none of that stuff. It's just he was doing some very, very bad things. We'll just say that. Some very disgusting things that, you know, we don't even want to talk about. But, like, so basically, she looks at all this, and she's like, this can't be it, right? Right? And come to find out, yeah, they found out, no, the New York FBI office was withholding over 1,000 pages of documents from the Attorney General. That, to me, sounds like a rogue sect of the FBI that's just doing whatever the hell it wants, right? We knew this was coming, y'all. We knew this was coming. The federal government has deep secrets that they want to keep. There was some definite government involvement. There's a lot of theories out there, and I'm not going to spew a bunch of conspiracy theories, but and I don't buy into this, that Jeffrey Epstein was working for the CIA or like Assad or something like that, like Israeli intelligence, one of those. And hey, that's possible. Like, you know, they say the difference between conspiracy theory and breaking news is 6 months sometimes. So that's why I don't understand when, you know, the corporate press tries to use that pejorative of, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. What do you mean? He's just predicting breaking news? Is that what you're trying to say? But they try to use it as an insult to people. And it's like, no, that's not an insult. Get the hell out of here. What are y'all talking about? Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. And that's what they did when Dan Bongino got nominated or appointed, as a matter of fact, to be the deputy director of the FBI. A lot of news articles, a lot of left-wing sites, once again, called him a conspiracy theorist. Gets appointed as it's like conspiracy theorist / podcaster. Like, completely ignoring that this guy was in the Secret Service for years. He was also a New York police officer. So he has law enforcement background. But they choose to list podcaster and conspiracy theorist. It's like, come on, guys. The left-wing news is just insane in this country, y'all. The first release proved to be a disappointment to those who are interested to know exactly who partook of Epstein's scandalous criminal services. Epstein was on trial for sex trafficking at the time of his death and is widely known to have catered to the sexual tastes of statesmen and celebrities alike by pimping out young girls. Yeah, we'll put it that way. Speaking to Piers Morgan, White House counselor Alina Habba said the files were incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, information, names that will come out. She also indicated that arrests would be forthcoming. Ooh, that is good news. That is great news. Arrests will be forthcoming. Now, we know, like, that's breaking information right there. So, arrests will be forthcoming. Now, knowing how long ago Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and quote-unquote died in jail, that was a long time ago. That was like, what, 2015 or 2017? Something like that. I forget the exact year that was, but it was a while back. Right? So we've had part of the Trump administration sitting on this and the entirety of the Biden administration sitting on this. So they're just now getting to some arrests. It's like, come on. Once again, this is why I say this. It was kind of a good thing that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, right? That Joe Biden got put in as the president, because we got to see, right? It was a good slap in the face to Donald Trump for him to step back and just see how deep the corruption in Washington, in the federal government goes. It's deep. So he knew by that 4 years, like, we've got to clean out certain departments, just wipe it out and start anew. And that's exactly what he's doing. And it's proving to be a good move. Glad that happened. Although we had to suffer for 4 years, but I'm glad that happened. The contacts that ran the binders have not yet been revealed. Fox News' Bill Mulligan reported that the DOJ will post the contents of the binder online at some point on Thursday. But that's what's going to be released, as already largely been seen in public domain prior to today. Human Events Daily's Jack Posobiec is among those who got a first glimpse at the binder. On his show, he spoke about the binder, saying that this was phase 1 and that he intended to go through the information and share it with viewers. There's going to be new stuff. There's going to be old stuff, he said, noting that this would be full transparency. Mike Cernovich, who was also at the meeting with Bondi, said the Southern District Court of the New York and the FBI held back the real information, and AG Bondi directed Kash Patel to start kicking ass. AG Bondi handed what she had. He said there was nothing Marshall. They put Marshall. There was nothing Marshall. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean, but maybe they meant to put material. I have no idea on that one. I'm sorry about that, y'all. The letter from Bondi was addressed to Patel and said that she had, prior to his confirmation to that position, requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. She received 200 pages of flight logs, contacts, and victim names and phone numbers. She told Patel that she repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to her request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. She then revealed that on Wednesday, she learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein, and that the existence of these files was not disclosed to her, nor were they delivered. She demanded that Patel ensure the delivery of all these documents to her office by Friday morning, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and material related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. Right? It doesn't matter. We want all the information. And you would think we would have a good working relationship between the DOJ and the FBI, because considering, the FBI works underneath the DOJ, the Department of Justice is a very wide organization, if you will. That's just, it's so fascinating to me, and it goes to prove once again that yes, the deep state is real, folks, and we do have actors in the federal government that want to keep secrets from the American public. They want to keep secrets from you. And our government was not set up for a rogue agency at this point to go around and keep secrets from everybody. Right? The government was set up to be transparent. Now, I understand we have secrets that we want to keep, classified information that we don't want getting out to the public. We have spies. When it comes to something like this, however, right, this is a guy, just a guy that was running essentially a criminal organization. And yeah, that what relation to the federal government? Like, how can there be any harm to the federal government from this guy? Right? Unless there was a lot of involvement of the federal government with this guy. But however, once again, our government was not set up to keep secrets like that. If our government is involved in untoward, activities, if you will, yeah, we want to know about that. And we're going to do everything we can to release that information. This is absurd, y'all. All those FBI, I don't care if you have to shut down that entire office. Every single one of these FBI agents that was involved in covering this up should be fired. And I really hope Kash Patel does this. And if he does not, that's going to be one of my main criticisms of Kash Patel. Right? If you do not fire these guys and get them out of there, that is going to be a very, very bad mark on your tenure as FBI director, my guy. You will have some tough questions to answer from the American public. I can promise you that. There was no client list in the first binder, though more materials are expected to be released. Epstein died in prison in 2019, and his colleague and consort, Ghislaine Maxwell, is still serving a prison term for her part in their scheme. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna blasted the White House for the lackluster document release, saying, "I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today." A NY Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for. Get us the information we asked for instead of leaking old info to press. That is right. That is what we want. We want the juicy bits. We want the client list. We want the flight logs. We want to see who was all involved. We want to see the lawsuits. Right? You can redact all the names, sensitive information, whatever you got to, right? We don't need to know the victims' names, for crying out loud. Of course you're going to redact that. That's not important. The client list is important. The flight logs are important. Exactly what was going on is important, as a matter of fact, and we want to know this. Like, once again, going back to this FBI office, we probably could have got a much bigger release today if it wouldn't be for the New York field office of the FBI. That's absurd. Every single one of these scumbags should be fired outright. And I will be taken aback, if you will, if Kash Patel does not fire these guys. I know I'm harping on that, but just think about that for a second. You've got Donald Trump over here. He's the president. He's the freaking commander-in-chief. He's these guys' boss. And they are withholding information once again, like they did in his first term. Now, we knew that was going to happen. Of course, we know the deep state has actors all over the place. And they are going to do everything they can to subvert Donald Trump. Right? This is why he's cleaning house. And a lot of liberals and the corporate press and the news media, they're all like, oh my God, they're doing interviews with all these fired people and they're trying to make you feel bad, like Donald Trump's just destroying the federal government. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's destroying the deep state currently. You are seeing this with your eyes, folks. The deep state destruction is going on currently, and I'm here for it and I'm loving it, because I don't know anybody who totally trusts the federal government, right? Who thinks that they have just nothing but angels employed for the federal government, and these people are working on your behalf in your best interests, right? No, I'm sorry. These people are working for their own interests. They have their own secrets they want to keep hidden away from the American public, and I just think that's scumbaggery, if you will. The people that should work for the federal government should be the best of the best. They shouldn't be people that are trying to hide, scheme off in the background, and just do things with taxpayer dollars that they're not supposed to be doing, right? It's almost a criminal organization at this point. It's organized crime, if you will. And I find that to be absurd. Attorneys with the Department of Justice have said the flight logs, names, and other details will be revealed. Many high-profile people have been linked to Epstein in one way or another, including Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, who has since said that he regrets ever associating with Epstein. Yeah, I imagine you do. Especially, right, but he didn't regret associating with Epstein until after Epstein got caught. Right? There was nothing bad about associating with Epstein. As a matter of fact, nobody knew who Epstein was. So, of course, he's going to come out and say, oh, yeah, well, he's dead now. Right? You remember that interview? I forget who that interview was. Well, he can't speak. Dead man can't speak. He's dead now, so, sucks for him. That's what Bill Gates said, pretty much. And it's like, what? What was your exact relationship with this guy, right? Like, even if it was just a standard friendship, and Bill Gates had no idea what was going on Epstein's island, you're still guilty by association at this point. So, yeah, you're not going to get out from underneath that. And just saying that in such a manner, one of the world's most powerful men saying, well, he's dead now, and he can't, dead men tell no tales. Well, that's quite damning if you ask me. That's a major strike to his reputation, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Who has since said he regrets ever associating with Epstein? Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Alec Baldwin, George Stephanopoulos, and many others. This will make you sick, Bondi said when discussing the information with Jesse Waters, noting the sheer number of victims involved. 200 victims. 200. So we have, over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. Maxwell also had a it's LITTL, black book of names that was sealed by the judge in her case. Lawmakers Anna Paulina Luna and Marsha Blackburn have advocated for the release of these documents, as have many others. The Thursday release was delayed initially. As Bondi said, there were over 200 victims whose names and identities need to be protected. That is right. And they do. So, the DOJ has to go through and redact all this information. Then they got to make copies for everybody. But I just love the fact that the DOJ was handing out these binders full of information. I don't know if you guys seen. I'll pop a photo up here right quick. They're handing out to regular, people on X, independent journalists, people with podcasts, like news podcasts and stuff like that. They're just giving it out to people that know that they can trust to disseminate this information, right? It's going to the corporate press. But you know what's funny? And the reason I covered this article from the Post Millennial is because that was the only corporate press outlet that I could find that was covering that. None of them. Not the Hill, the AP, Reuters, WAPO, the New York Times. None of the big names, no smaller names either, right? Like the Huffington Post and all these other places. A lot of the news organizations that are covered constantly, none of them were covering it. I saw the Post Millennial was the only one that I found. Of course, I ain't gonna lie. When I finally went to all these news sites, finally decided I'm gonna go to the Post Millennial. Well, I stopped looking after that, right? Because why would I continue searching for a story when there it is? But once again, it just goes to prove that they don't care about this kind of information. That is damning information right there. Just the fact, right? screw the Epstein stuff. You can throw that out. Who cares? We're going to get that information because we don't have anything juicy yet, right? But it's the fact. And the reason I cover this story is the fact. The New York field office withheld information intentionally from the DOJ, knowing she requested all of the files. She wanted everything, which kind of surprises me. How come the DOJ didn't already have all of this, like on file? That's absurd. So that goes to Merrick Garland's DOJ. Probably. It might even go to Trump's, because once again, that, he died in prison in 2019. So I think he was arrested in 2017, I believe. So yeah, that was under Donald Trump. But I guess at the time we didn't really know the extent to what Epstein was up to and exactly how many ties he had to a lot of really, really big names in the United States, celebrities, tech titans like Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. Donald Trump flew on Epstein's plane once or twice, I believe. But, and it's going to be funny. That is going to be hilarious, though, if Donald Trump actually orders the release of the Epstein stuff, but he knows he's not on there. But it will be funny that if he does wind up being on this client list, for crying out loud, like, that's going to be crazy, right? Now, my total opinion on Donald Trump will change at that point. I might not necessarily be anti-Trump, but I will have to say, I'm not going to like him anymore, that's for sure. I like what he's doing. And, I need to be somebody who can look at somebody's actions and say, that's good, regardless of the character of the person, right? He's going to be the president for 4 years. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments. Should Donald Trump be impeached if he ends up being on the Epstein client list? If it comes to find out that Donald Trump was heavily involved with Jeffrey Epstein, should he be impeached? Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. That's all I got on this one. I still find it absurd that the FBI was withholding information from the DOJ, for crying out loud. That's just, once again, proving the deep state is not your average everyday federal employee. It's not some bureaucrat, right? It's rogue individuals that are self-interested in getting away with their crimes, right? Because that's exactly what we see. That's exactly what the conspiracy theory is. The deep state is rogue actors in the federal government that are accountable to no one, that do what they want. They keep secrets from the American public. There's no transparency, no oversight, none of that. Middle management type of people that just get away with just doing whatever the hell they want to, just because they can. Maybe it's something like they have, they can blackmail people. They have power over somebody. That's why they can't be fired. They have secrets that certain people in positions of power don't want to get out. So they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want. That's absurd in my opinion. All right. And that's, once again, that's a conspiracy theory, but it is a logical avenue to discuss, right? To explore that avenue, because it's a definite possibility. And we're seeing more and more evidence that points in that direction. I don't know if that's true. Once again, that could be it could just look like that's what's going on. But, it's definitely within the realm of possibility for something like that to be taking place. Right? The government is big and it's bloated, y'all. And there's a lot that goes on that we don't know about every day. But here I go ranting again. Y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got on this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.